What's up, YouTube? It's Rules for Rebels here, and today's video is titled Quitting a $250,000 a year job to move to Vietnam, teach English, and sell t-shirts. Interesting video title, right? So today's going to be kind of a storytelling day. So it's Saturday morning. It's like 6:30 in the morning right now. I don't know why I woke up so early. I woke up this morning, couldn't fall back to sleep. So I went and got myself a cup of coffee, brought a couple books with me. I'm sitting at the park right now. I'm just going to read a couple books, relax here. Head home in a little bit after my girlfriend wakes up. But today's video, I wanted to share kind of a motivational, inspirational story about somebody actually taking action and following their dreams and leaving behind a very secure and very high-paying job to do so. So, excuse me, guys, I'm kind of out of it this morning. I'm not normally up this early. So long story short, you guys know I work for myself. I have an office a few minutes away from my house, and my office it's a basement office. It's below a strip mall with like a restaurant and some doctor's offices and I don't know, pizza place, a bunch of other stuff. But I'm in the basement, so a lot of times, just to get out of I have no natural light in there, no windows. It's just a basement office. So a lot of times, there's a back staircase. I'll go up and, it's back behind my office. And I'll go up there and sit back there. I got a captain's chair back there. Sometimes I'll take a break, go sit up there, get some fresh air, take a walk, whatever. So the other day I'm out there having a smoke. It's raining. And I see this guy walking by. A lot of people walk behind my office to go to this apartment complex behind there. And, sometimes I'll say hello, good morning to people. So some guy's walking by and he's kind of looking at me and, just to kind of be friendly. Hey, good morning. How about this rain, And the guy kind of stops and he's like, I should add, he's got on like a big fishing hat, like a big coat, like just kind of like some Unabomber glasses. I couldn't really tell who it was. And do I know you? I don't know. Do I know you? So he takes off his glasses. He puts out his hand. I won't say his name, but he puts out his hand and introduces himself. And I say, blah, 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 college. Long story short, I went away to like a 4-year state school, did that for a couple of years, kind of going to school on and off, sometimes just hanging out down there partying and stuff. Moved back to my hometown, finished up college at kind of a commuter college, 4-year college, but commuter college, private college. And there was a kid, this is probably, I don't know, years ago, probably over 5 years ago. And there was a kid who, somehow I met through class. He really didn't hang out with a lot of people at my college. It was kind of a commuter college. People came to their classes and left. There wasn't really a campus community or anything. But I happened to make a friend there, and hung out for a little bit and kind of lost contact. Haven't seen him in probably 5 or 7 years. And this happens to be who I run into behind my office. So we're kind of catching up. Oh, what you been up to? Oh, and he's had kind of an interesting life since college. He's kind of drifted around. I think he said like the day after he graduated school, which was right around the time that I did, he said he just kind of on a whim packed up his Toyota, drove out to Denver, had no place in mind, no place to stay, didn't know anybody out there, just went out there and decided to kind of sleep in his car and camp and travel, and I guess he was doing that for a while. After that, he moved down to San Diego for a while, was out in Arizona, basically just moved around, like really interesting life. Like said he hiked around the desert for a month. He was a lumberjack for a while. He lived in some small town in Colorado, just living off the land for he's really kind of bounced around and just done a lot of things. Not done your traditional stuff. Me and a lot of my friends, you go to college. After college, you go get your $35,000, $40,000 a year office job. You do that. You maybe move up, and he's kind of done a lot of things and moved around. Maybe hasn't focused on a quote unquote career very much. But really, are those of us who have focused on a career that much ahead with our, $35,000 a year and our 3% 401k match? Like, I think it's kind of interesting that kind of he had the balls to do what he wanted and explore and not kind of really just go through the motions that a lot of us go through. But anyhow, I guess he's been back in the area for a few months. And when I ran into him, he said, "I'm going over to this mailbox store business, whatever, to to mail something to my girlfriend in Vietnam." And so, my first thought was like he met some girl on the internet and is like sending her money or something like that. So I was like, oh, that's, I'm trying to be polite, like, oh, that's nice. So, we catch up for a few minutes. Tells me he's going to Vietnam, so I'm like, oh, that's really cool. So he's like, what, I gotta go mail this. I'll come by and stop by your office in a little bit. So I go back to work. He comes back by, stops by my office, And we're talking some more, and he's telling me about his girlfriend and everything else. And he said, yeah, my girlfriend, she started a clothing line. She's living over in Vietnam, has this e-commerce business, and started a clothing line doing custom clothes. So I'm like, that's what I'm into as well. So this kind of interested me. I'm like, oh, that's really pretty cool. So we get to talk, and he's telling me more about his girlfriend. Really impressive story. I'd really like to get her on here to do like an interview or a guest vlog or something like that. Because I think it would be really motivational, really inspirational, and really interesting just kind of hearing her story. But I guess she went to school at Notre Dame, graduated from Notre Dame, went and got a law degree at University of Chicago, I believe it was. So, very well educated. I don't know exactly what she was doing. Obviously, she was in law, so I'm guessing corporate law or something like that. But he said she was making $250,000 a year, really good money, $250,000 a year. And I forget how long she's been over there. I think 6 or 8 months. But I think did the corporate law thing for a couple of years, was making big money, and then just kind of on a whim decided, I'm not happy doing this. This isn't what I want to do. I'm going to move to Vietnam. And I thought that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, that you're willing to, a lot of people would say, I could be miserable for $250,000 a year. But this girl said, $250,000 a year, if I'm not happy, what's the point? So quit this very, very lucrative job, apparently picked up and moved to Vietnam and started an e-commerce business. I think she's also teaching English over there, if I'm not mistaken. So I know a lot of people when they go overseas, teach English. A lot of times they'll provide you with housing. They'll pay you a little bit. You tend to have a lot of free time to travel around or just experience the country and stuff like that. But I guess that's what she's over there doing. She went over there, started teaching English, volunteers at an orphanage. But the other thing, I thought this was a really cool idea, and this is kind of where it gets into the business part. She started a clothing line. Now, I don't know if any of you guys have traveled to Vietnam, but Vietnam is really known for their textiles industry. Actually, Vietnam is kind of overtaking, sorry guys, my bun keeps bugging me here. Vietnam is actually taking over China in terms of manufacturing. The cost of labor in China has really skyrocketed. So it's no longer really that cost efficient to make stuff in China. I realize myself and a lot of you guys probably still import things from China. But Vietnam seems to be kind of the wave of the future. I know a couple years ago HP was moving a lot of its factories over there. I could be mistaken. I think Hyosung may be Korean, but I think Hyosung motorcycles started manufacturing over there. There's a lot of companies that started manufacturing stuff over there, but they're really known for their textile industries. And years ago, I was working at a kind of an internet startup in River North, which is kind of in Chicago, where all the new internet startups and things like that are. And a coworker of mine, this is kind of a total side story, but it was a really good job. You started off with 3 weeks of vacation. Every year you earned an extra week, and then after 3 years, you earned a month-long sabbatical, which you could take back-to-back with your 4 weeks of vacation. So the kid I was working with had 2 months off of work, traveled over to Vietnam, hung out, traveled, did all that stuff. But he came back with a bunch of very nice suits, right? And of course, somebody has to pull up next to me here. Came back with a bunch of very nice suits. And I guess over in Vietnam, you can get custom-made, tailored suits that probably anywhere else would cost you thousands of dollars. And you can get them made in Vietnam for like literally nothing. I forget what he said he paid, but he got a ton of suits for super... Okay, so as I was saying, sorry, I was sitting at the park, all these people start pulling up around me, annoying me. But this kid got a ton of suits. I think he got like 3 or 4 like custom tailored suits for a couple $100, which here would literally cost you thousands of dollars. And the whole point of this story is that basically Vietnam's known for their textile industry. Really, really nice quality custom clothing can be made for very, very cheap. So with this girl, my buddy who I ran into, what his girlfriend is doing is basically she set up a website. There's skirts, blouses, shirts, pants, all types of women's clothing. And basically what it does, I guess you could measure yourself, but basically, you would go into go to Macy's, go to your cleaners, go to a tailor, whatever, get properly measured, all your measurements for clothes, you upload them to her website, and then basically you can order yourself custom clothes for very, very reasonable prices. Stuff that here would cost you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, you can literally get for anywhere from like 60 to, maybe 200 bucks. And I guess the website just recently launched. She's doing it on BigCommerce. I'm more of a Shopify guy myself, but she's doing it on BigCommerce. I would share her website or whatever, but I figured I'd talk to my buddy first, tell him to have a talk with her and see if she wants me to share the site or whatever. Because I'd be more than happy to promote it. I think she's got a really cool story. I think it's really cool what she's doing. And if any of you guys out there, a lot of times I like to buy stuff to support entrepreneurs who I think are doing cool things. So that's kind of why I would want to share her story, is just to maybe kind of promote her store a little bit for her, because I think it's really cool what she's doing, and I think the concept is really cool. But basically, I mean, if you think about it, if you were to go to like a, I don't know, J. Crew or something like that, and a girl wants to buy a skirt, you're probably looking to pay $80 to $150. Like, it's not cheap. Well, on this girl's website, you can get hand-tailored, quality-made, custom clothing for about the same price. I mean, I didn't pour over every price on her website, but I would say most items were on the low end, maybe 60 bucks. On the high end, I think 130. But there was a lot of stuff in like the $80 to the $90 range, which. Hey, sorry guys, I had to stop and grab something real quick. I'm picking up here. Like I said, she's doing custom clothing for pretty much the same prices that you're going to pay for your normal name brand clothing that a lot of you guys are probably wearing. And so I thought this was an awesome service. Quality clothing, custom made for you, quality materials, and all for the same price that women are probably paying for the clothes they're already buying at J. Crew or Macy's or wherever they shop. So I thought this was a really kind of clever way. I don't know whether it was her. Like I said, I kind of got this story secondhand through my buddy. I don't know if it was her intention to move over to Vietnam to start a clothing line, or if she said, I just need a break from the corporate world. I'm gonna move over to Vietnam and teach English and just kind of roll things back a little bit and take it easy. And then when she got over there, she realized that there were these opportunities and things like that. Either way, it's a really cool story. But I thought this was really kind of awesome. I know everybody's chasing money and stuff like that. And I myself am one of those people who you hear people complaining about jobs where they make big money. And a lot of times in the back of my head, I'm like, what? I think I could be, not forever, but I think I could be miserable for 2 or 3 years if I'm making $250,000 a year, because it's basically taken me 3 years of really going hard to be able to get this e-commerce business to where it's at, and I feel like I probably put in more hours than somebody at a job normally would. So I'm like, I think I could, for $250,000 a year, I think I could probably be miserable at a job for 2 years and then basically use that money to bankroll something else. But I just thought this was a really cool story. It was really kind of motivating to me that, to see somebody who, sort of risked it all, left their corporate job that they spent 4 years in college plus another, 2, 3, 4 years in law school to get. And they just left it all behind because it wasn't what was making them happy. And not only that, but they moved across the world by themselves to a totally different foreign country where they didn't know anybody, didn't really know how society works, and they were able to set up a business and everything over there. So I thought it was really, really cool. My buddy just headed over there. He actually called me the other night and asked if he could crash at my house before he left. So I let him crash in my basement the night before he left, and he was talking about how when he gets over there, he may try to start up like a men's clothing line as kind of a brother-sister brand to his girlfriend's clothing line. And I don't think he really has any experience in e-commerce or anything like that, and that's what I do. So if he has any interest in doing that, I'm definitely very very interested to maybe help him set up a business doing something like that. And also, like I said in the beginning of this video, Vietnam is becoming a huge base for manufacturing. So I think it'll be kind of cool to have him on the ground over there. I believe he said his girlfriend lives, I forget the name of the town. It's on like the South China Sea or the Bay of China or something like that. But he said, I guess that's where her designer is. That's where a lot of her manufacturers and things like that are. And so I imagine they're in a region that has some manufacturing and things going on. I'm guessing mainly textiles. But I think it'll be cool to have him on the ground over there. I'm going to start doing a little bit of research myself into what type of stuff is Vietnam known for manufacturing and exporting. Like I said, I mean, they're doing everything from motorcycles to electronics to all types of other stuff. I think they're really known for their textiles. But I think it's going to be cool that I kind of got some feet on the ground over there. And if I want to get into manufacturing something or importing something from there, I think it'll be valuable to have a resource like that over there. But really, what I would really like to do, and what this video is kind of leading into, I'm going to try to see. I don't know when I'll talk to him. He's got like a 2 to 3 day travel time. I think he was flying to San Francisco, to Taiwan, to Hong Kong, to Vietnam. So I think as of right now, he's probably still traveling. I think he'll be traveling till tomorrow with hopping flights and layovers and everything else. You know, once he gets over there and kind of gets settled in, I imagine he'll probably shoot me an email or shoot me a text or whatever. And I'd really like to see if his girlfriend would either be interested in doing like a Skype interview with me on this channel, or even just doing a guest vlog and sharing her story. But I thought this was kind of a really, really interesting story. I know a lot of you guys contact me and want to do interesting things. I know some of you guys have an interest in location independence, which is something I'm interested in as well. Basically what location independence means, and I've talked about this in other videos, but basically you are able to make your money online and you're not tied down by anything. So if you wanted to move to Vietnam and, excuse me, kind of at the spur of a moment, yeah, I think I'm gonna go to Vietnam and just kind of stay there and chill out for a couple months. You could literally pick up, go there, and as long as you have an internet connection, you can make money. You know, I think I'm gonna go visit my mom out in Oregon for a few months. If you have an internet connection there, you can make money. So that's what location independence is. This girl over in Vietnam, I think her e-commerce business is relatively new, so I imagine she's probably supplementing her income with teaching, and I imagine she's probably got plenty of money in savings from her previous job in corporate law. But you know, I just found the whole thing really impressive. I actually, even my buddy heading over there, I thought that's pretty cool. You know, I used to think I was like adventurous and wanted to be this world traveler, and then I remember the first time I went to Canada and was kind of overwhelmed by like the culture shock, if you can even call it that, in Canada. And I realized maybe I'm not quite as adventurous as I thought, but I thought it was really kind of ballsy for my buddy to head over there by himself and go visit her. And you know, he may be starting up a male side to her clothing brand, but I just thought it was a really interesting story. Wanted to share it with you guys. Maybe you guys find some motivation in it. As far as messages or takeaways from this, I guess do what makes you happy. You know, if you hate your job, if you aren't happy with where you are in your life right now, do something to change it. If that means quitting and packing up your shit and moving over to Vietnam, do it. Because I think the people who are truly wealthy are the people, not the people with the most money in the bank, but the people who are doing what they want to do, and the people who are happy. And it seems like that's what these two people are doing, and I found that to kind of be motivational or inspiring or something like that. So I will be trying to get them to either do a guest vlog or an interview or something like that. I'll try to get something set up like that in the next few weeks here. And if I learn anything interesting about manufacturing or importing from Vietnam or anything, I will be back to share that with you guys as well. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Give me a thumbs up if you're not subscribed. Give me a thumbs up if you're not subscribed. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Click right down there if you're not subscribed. If you want to share this video with somebody or on social media, feel free to share it. Thank you guys for watching. Any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below, and we'll check you guys out in the next video. Later.